Hi everybody, so I'm Sarah and I'm going to go over bucket sorts today. So for bucket sorts, something cool about bucket sorts is that you don't need to compare each number using less than, equal to, or greater than. We're going to be using these buckets here to sort our numbers. So you're going to start with 10 buckets and each of them are going to be labeled from the numbers or digits 0 to 9. Obviously the numbers that make up any number. So you're going to have these 10 buckets and you're going to look at your list. So this is our little practice list that we're going to go over. And when using a bucket sort, you are going to start by looking at the least significant digit. So for these numbers, that is going to be 3, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, and 3. So the least significant digit. And you're going to take these digits and match them up to their buckets and put them in those respective buckets. So for 343, you're going to go ahead and put that in the 3 bucket. Then 4 bucket. This one would go in the 2, 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 3, 7, 3. So you sorted them into their respective buckets for their least significant digit. And when you have a number that has the same least significant digit as another number, it goes under the one that came before it in the list. So 12 came first, then 32. So you keep it that way. You don't sort it. 343, 723, and 83. They came in that order in the list, therefore they're in that order in the bucket. Once you've sorted everything, you're not going to make a new list starting from top down through all the buckets. So our new list looks like this. So it starts from 231, 12, 932. So all these in order top down. Now you have this new list. So this is the basic premise of a bucket sort. This is basically what you're doing, but multiple times over until you have looked at every single digit in the longest number or the biggest number. So we'll talk more about that later, but we're just gonna go ahead and continue and do this do this again. So now that they're in this order, we're gonna go ahead and look at them and do it by their second least significant digit. Now, if we come by a number that does not have a second least significant digit, we're using zeros as fillers because 0, 1 doesn't change the number, it's still 1. But if we put 1, 1, that changes it to 11. Therefore, we're using 0 as our fillers. So if we look at this, it's 3, 1, 3. And as you can see, once again, like I was talking about earlier, this came first. So this went in the bucket at the top. Now this is in the bucket on the next to the 231. So you just keep putting them under. Then we have 4, 2, 8, 3. As you can see, that went under. Then 4 is going to go to 0. Like I said earlier, we're using zeros as our fillers. Then 4, 5, and 6. Now we have our numbers resorted again by the second least significant digit. And so now we're going to put that into our new list, going in order from the buckets top down. And we get this new list. So 4, 12, 723, 231, 932, 34, 343, 45, 456, 67, and 83. So now we're gonna go ahead and sort one more time because the biggest number we have is 932 and it is 3 digits long. Therefore, we're gonna have to do this sort 3 times. So for our last time, we're looking at our third least significant digit. And for this, for 4, obviously there's no third least significant digit, so we're gonna do 0. Same with 12. Then we have 7, 2, 9, 34 does not have a third least significant digit, so 0. Then 3, same with 45. Then 4, 0, and 0. So if you're not starting to see it yet, I'll go ahead and put that in the new list. We have 4, 12, 34, 45, 67, 83, 231, 343, 456, 723, and 932. This list is now in order. We did not have to compare any of these numbers, but by putting them in buckets, by comparing their least significant digits, we have put it in order. Now, the reason we had to do it 3 times is because the time analysis for a bucket sort is you have to go through each number, n passes, or how many numbers there are, for how long the biggest number is. So k length. So if the biggest number is 3 digits long, you're gonna have to go through it 3 times. It's 2 long, then 2 times, 5 long, then 5 times. So this gives us O of n times k is our time analysis for this. Looking at this type of time analysis, it's not going to be good for any sets of data that have big dramatic differences and outliers. It's going to be best for those types of lists that have around the same lengths for all their numbers. So like if we look at this example right here, this gigantic outlier right here is going to cause you to use more time and more space, and it's not efficient. So there are many other sorting algorithms that are going to be much better and more beneficial for you to use on this type of data set. And when looking at what this works for, when creating your buckets, a lot of people like to use linked lists or more popular multi-dimensional arrays. And it's best for numbers as you are comparing each digit to the next. And as for its stability, this is a stable type of sort. So if you have 2 numbers, they're going to stay, 2 numbers that are equal, they're going to stay in that order, excuse me. But it is not in place. Creating these buckets takes up lots of space, and therefore it is not in place. It is using up a lot more space, but it does have its benefits for how it sorts and how quickly it can sort depending on your set of data. Therefore, it can be very popular because if you know that your set of data has small digits, then this is going to be a very quick sort for you. Therefore, knowing the type of data you have is kind of important when deciding whether to use a bucket sort or not. So once again, a little quick recap. Bucket sorts. Create your 10 buckets, take your numbers, sort them into their respective buckets using their least significant digit. Create your new list using those buckets, and then once again sort them into their respective buckets using their next least significant digit. Create your new list and do that as many times as you need to get through each digit of your biggest number. Once you do that, you have your list that is now sorted. And that is all I have for you about bucket sorting. I hope this helped you understand or learn what a bucket sort is.